Good morning. Let us see the next storage options provided by the Android operating system. In the previous classes, we saw the two ways. The one is shared preferences. The second one is using the SQLite databases. Now we have the two more storage options. The one is called as the internal storage. The second one is the external storage. Both are persistent storage. That means the data will be safe even though if you switch off your device. Okay, now let us see the briefly what is the difference between the internal and external. The internal storage means if you observe every app have some storage capacity, so it will be reserved automatically whenever you install your app. So now you can utilize that space to create the new files. Okay, so the files will be guaranteed to be present. So typically you will store the smaller size of files and cannot be expanded or removed, specific and private to each app, so that any other apps is not possible to access the data from this, and this file will be deleted when the app is uninstalled automatically. So these are the features of internal storage. Now how can you perform these things? So for this, just here the internal storage memory can be treated as just a file. As an abstract at higher level, it will be treated as just a file object. Not you can get the name and so on. So all the file handling methods supported here also. Then you can use the wrapper classes called as the input stream and output stream classes to perform the reading and writing operations. These are some important methods to know about your file. The one is get files directly. It shows where your file is going to store. Then get cache directory. It is just the temporary directory. Temp for to store the just during the execution is called as file. Okay, so here I am showing a complete example for how I can create a file. I can write some data as well as how I can open that file once again, then I can read some data. Okay, let us see the class here called as I am using the file stream IO class is called as print stream class. So by using this I am opening the file in the mode called as the private mode. So here we have the several options like mode private, mode append, like that. Then I am writing the data, then close the file. So to read the data I am using the input stream class called as the scanner class. Then I am reading the line by line and appending to the one string, empty string. Now I am updating that string into the text view class. Okay, so this is the way of how you can create a file and read the file and write the file into the internal storage. Now coming to the external storage, the external storage is nothing but like the memory card what we are using. We will usually call it as the SD card. Okay, so it can be much larger than the internal storage, typically 8 to 32 GB or 120, nowadays 128 GB and so on. You can be removed or transferred to another device if needed, so may not be present depending on the device. Read or writable by other apps and users, not private to your app. It is the public data, not wiped when the app is uninstalled, except in certain cases. Okay, so the data is persistent even though the application is uninstalled. So how can I perform these operations? The first thing you need to check here is, so the important thing, you want to import the permissions to perform the read and write operations for external device. So this is an external memory, so you need to get the permission for I can perform the read external storage, I can perform the write external storage. So these two lines you need to include in the manifest file. Then you can use the method called as get external files directory, which gives what is the root directory at which you are going to create a new file. Okay, or you want to open the existing directories and in that existing directories you want to create a file. Now you can pass the name. Okay, for example at alarms folder or DCIM folder, downloads folder, movies folder, music folder, notifications folder and so on. So again the same steps we need to follow. See, these steps are common in the case of internal storage and external storage of how to open the file and write the some data and so on. So the extra thing is, first you need to get the what is the root directory. For that you need to use the method called as get external files directory. Once getting the root directory, you can create the file called as, for example, .txt. Okay, then you can write the data. Similarly, you can read the data also just by opening the file. Okay, let us see these things how I can perform in the Eclipse. File, new, Android application project, for example, internal storage. The application name is internal storage. Next, now I created one project called as internal storage. So directly let us move to the activity.java file. Now in this activity, so the XML file just have the one reference for text view. You can create the ID for that. So Android ID is equal to a new ID, for example text1. Okay, now save it. Now you can go through the activity.java file. So in this activity.java file, first get the reference for this. Text view t is equal to find view by id of r.id dot text1. Cast it. Okay, so here what the app I am going to do is, I am going to create the new file in the internal storage, insert some data, read the data and display it as text view instead of hello world message. Okay, now first let us start with creation of new file. So for that I am using the class called as print stream. Out is equal to new print stream of what is the file, open file output of what is the file name. For example, the file name is, I am writing example, or I am writing sample.txt. Then what is the mode? The mode is equal to, I am writing for example append. Okay, now we can import the so it is asking you should use the try catch. So once you created or open the existing file, now you can use the method called as out println of, like you can write whatever you want. For example, I am writing meeting. Again I am writing out println of, for example I am writing university. Okay, now you can close it. Okay, so this is the task for what I done. I created the file in the append mode instead of overwriting in the append mode, and I written the some content and I'm using it. Now I can read it. Here I am using the scanner class s is equal to when file input of the same file name sample.txt. Okay, sample.txt. Now I am taking string temporary, initially it is null. Now I am reading line by line. sc dot has next line. Has next line. String line is equal to sc dot next line. Now temp is equal to temp place line. Now tv dot set text of scan of that course. Okay. So the application, finally what I have done is just I created the file and written some data. Now I am opening the same file for reading purpose. So reading line by line and appending to the temporary variable, then finally this data will be appended to the as text view. Okay, inserted to the text view. Okay, so let us see its execution. Okay, so you can observe that the data is available here. Now where this, if you want to see the file where it is created, again go to ddms, the data, and once more the data, then what is the app name, com.example.internal storage. Within this there is a files folder. Within the files folder there is a sample.txt. Okay, so this is an example for internal storage. Now let us move to the external storage. Okay, now I am creating new application project, external storage. Next. Now coming to the external storage, as usual I am creating the new file writing some data in the SD card and read the data and append the text view. Okay, so first of all create the one reference for this text field, sorry, text view. So standard id is equal to text1, save it. Now go to the Java file. First get the reference for this. TV is equal to id dot text1. Do the casting also. Now, so I told to you, first of all you need to get the reference at root directory. So for that you need to use the class called as file out is equal to, you can use the method called as get external files directories of null. It indicates that the root directory. Now at root directory you can create the one new file output file is equal to name file of at directory. What is the directory? Now you can name it as output directory. This is output directory. Okay, output directory, comma, within that output directory now I am creating one file sample.txt. Okay, so this is the output file object created at output directory. Now you can use the methods as usual. Print stream class out is equal to name print stream of the file name is file. Okay. So here it is expecting a try catch. So here the exception handling is important because we don't know what type of errors are runtime. So several runtime errors are possible, like memory is not available, or that file directory is not available, or we don't have certain permissions, and so on. Okay, so to handle all the runtime expressions it's better to put the try catch. Okay, then now write the data as usual. Out dot println of, for example, relative. As usual I am writing out dot println of writing the data. Now then close it. Okay, so this is for create the file at root directory and write the data and close the file. Now we need to perform the reading of the same thing. For reading once again, so you need to open the file. So now you can change it as input directory, input file, Now you can use the scanner class. Scanner. Okay, I am using the previous program. Previous program as it is, I am using that. Okay, scanner is equal to new scanner of open file. Now we have the file object already. So just scanner of what is the file name is. That's it. So this object I am passing here. Text line temp text of. Okay. Now coming to the manifest file, we need to modify the one manifest file also. Here where the manifest file will be available. This is the manifest file. Now coming to the permissions, you can add the permissions. Here's the permission that is called as read external storage, add write external storage. Write external storage. Okay, this one is not required. These two, read external storage and write external storage. Now you can observe in the Android manifest file also there are two interfaces. Okay, these two statements to be write, read external storage and write external storage. These two to be written. Okay. Now coming to the for execution of external storage, you need to create the virtual device. I am deleting it. Now I am creating the new virtual device. For example, the device name is VAT. This is as usual any device. Now you should give the what is the SD card size here. Without SD card it won't execute. So you can create the virtual SD card, for example 500 MB. Okay, this step should be mandatory, otherwise it will not take. Okay, so if you observe it, we have the SD card as 500 MB of size. Now you can run this file. Now observe here, so we got the output as VAT University. So this is the message written in the VAT University. Not this one, sorry. So this is the information written in the into the external device VAT University. Okay. Now let us see where this file is created. So go to the DDMS. Now observe that there is a folder called as mount. The SD card is mounted in the Android in the data. What is the package? What is the files? The file name is sample.txt. Okay. So this is an example for how to perform the internal storage and external storage. Thank you.